Good evening, Habs Night fans. I am Brandon, once again joined here with Drew Dekes. Quick note, St. Patrick's Day, as you can tell by my hat here, I tried to find a flat cap like Weiss wears, but I couldn't find one at the dollar store before we went and recorded this. So everyone, welcome back to another pregame show with Habs Night. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn that notification bell on so you know when we do go live with Dale Weiss. You don't want to miss them, all right? So first things first, let's get into last game. Dekes, what'd you think?
Well, first of all, it's a win, so it's obviously it's a positive thing, but definitely saw some progress as we've all been talking about from Kotkaniemi and being put on that first line. I think a lot of fans were waiting for this moment. He was probably waiting for that moment to really step up and be trusted with that first line center role. And it's one game, it's a sample size, but it was definitely nice to see him with Anderson and Drew. And so we saw production right away out of that line, and definitely encouraged by that.
What a beautiful goal that was, too. You got Anderson making the diving pass to Drouin. Drouin finds Kotkaniemi on the back door. I mean, I'm excited. It's a small sample size, like you said, but I'm excited to see Kotkaniemi thrive in that first-line role with these two wingers. It really is exciting for a Habs fan.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, some of the fans on our Twitter at Habs Tonight were, saying that our top six might be locked in going forward, and they could be right. You don't want to get too far ahead, but it's just been a juggling line all season. Like you and I were talking, it's just a weird season, period, right? The teams had ups and downs. They started off hot, winning 7 out of 10 games. Now they're trying to get back on track, and it's just you got to go with the flow this year. A lot of teams that are at the top of the league in other divisions are having their ups and downs also. So I'm hoping Montreal can rattle off a few wins in a row and just kind of show that they have what it takes.
And a couple more bright spots on the last game was Toffoli. He scores the empty netter to seal it there, and he is tied for second in the league right now with goals, just only behind Matthews, who has 21. Toffoli sitting there at 17, I believe. I mean, that signing Bergevin made in the summer, fall, whatever it was, because it's a weird season. But, I mean, that's paying dividends right now for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, him and Anderson, I said this in my post-game video, like, I don't know what we would do without either of them right now because – their production's been consistent, and just, Anderson barreling down every night on the net. And, he came back from that injury, and every time he comes into the lineup, he just makes an impact very early on in the game. And then you got Toffoli leading the team in goals. He was expected to score goals, right? And he's doing that. But again, also just the experience behind him helps, having a 30-plus goal season behind him with the LA Kings. And it just, I'm looking forward to the playoffs already. I know it's early, but I know they have a lot of work still to get there, but I'm encouraged, and I want to see these guys in a playoff run.
One more bright spot I think I just want to touch on is Carey Price, who starts again tonight. He was real solid there in that third period. I mean, the Jets were laying it on pretty heavy, and Price, I'm not going to say it anymore. I think Price is back. He's back, and I think he's here to stay.
Absolutely, and he's going to go back head-to-head with Hellebuyck, probably the two of the top goalies still in the NHL, but for some reason, it seems like Carey always has to prove himself time and time again. But he's okay with that. He's not focused on what everybody thinks anymore. As he said, after Stefan Weight got fired, and he's just going to focus on playing hockey. And that's what he's best at, right? So he's been consistent the last several games, and it's just something that you're used to in Montreal at this point. He's been here over 10 years. It's just one of those things that Habs fans are going to let you know how they feel, and he understands that.
One thing we do know tonight, like we said, Price is starting. Hellebuyck is in the other net. I know the Montreal Canadiens lines haven't changed. We're still going to see the pairing of Romanov and Ouellet. Sorry, we got Petrie, Kulak. They look good as a pair, and then we got Weber and Edmondson. But for tonight, what do you think the Habs have to do? It's the last game of their 6-game Western road trip. Do they empty the tank tonight? I know they got a big game coming up Friday and Saturday versus the Canucks.
So many games in such a short, in a week, right? It's just crazy. But yeah, I agree with you. I think I would like to see them empty the tank tonight. We've seen them recently get off to a bit of a slower start against Calgary, and they've learned from that. At least we think that's what we've seen so far from them. And I expect them to empty the tank, no doubt. I think that you want to end this road trip, like you said, in a positive way, heading back to the Bell Center, and every single point matters at this point. So I have to think that the boys are going to go out and, just push hard for another tight win. And I think that Edmondson and Edmondson and Weber pairing is looking interesting. And then you've got Kulak getting his confidence back as well. So that's huge for the Canadiens, at least on the defensive side of things too.
Yeah, 100%. And one last thing for Habs fans to be excited for is prospect Cole Caufield. Absolutely lighting up the NCAA right now. It was released today that he is a finalist for the Hobey Baker Award. The guy's scoring every single game, it seems. I know we repost him on Twitter, so make sure you keep following our Twitter account. We post the highlights of some of the prospects and stuff around the league, so make sure you do that. But you excited for Caufield?
You can probably see by my smile, can't you? Yeah, I think if you've been following Cole just this season alone, and you're just really finding out about how good he is, there's good reason to be excited so soon. I mean, I know he's not a Montreal Canadian just yet, but there just seems to be a growing belief among scouts, among fans, that he could be a Montreal Canadian before this season is over. And we don't know that for sure. We don't want to speculate too much, but the more he plays, the more he shows that he's ready. And if trades, Marc Bergevin said it yesterday in his midseason press conference, that trades are going to be tough to come by. And if they're able to get Caufield over, I kind of mentioned this, I think, even in one of our last episodes, is that why not risk it and have the kid come in, maybe get onto that third line if possible, and see what he can do. I don't think it'll hurt the Canadiens to try it, and they could use the extra scoring touch going into the playoffs too.
And speaking of Berge and his press conference, it seems like he's standing pat with his roster he's put together this year. I'm not sure if that's Bergevin being sneaky, because not often is there a trade or anything leaked. The press tries to, but Berge keeps everything right tight-knit to his chest here. So I'm curious to see what he does. I'm not guaranteeing anything, but you got to think a player like Caufield or somebody from the AHL team, rather than doing a trade and having to deal with a 14-day quarantine, they almost get a rental player in their own kind of way, either the AHL or via NCAA prospects that our seasons are ending soon. So anyone, we're going to log off here, and then we're going to be live tweeting all night. So don't forget, follow us, Habs Night, on Twitter. Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Hit the bell. Make sure you get the notifications on. Dekes, any last words? Any predictions?
You know what? We were talking about this too, right, Brandon, about predictions, and maybe we'll leave it to the fans to make predictions tonight. And they're fun to do, right? But I think if anything, you just want, like every time we talk about it, we always just want to see a Habs win. But if there's one thing I want to see from the team, it's just to keep progressing in the new system that Dom Ducharme has in place, because it's been working. And I just want to see that continue to go. And I think we need to see some improvement on the penalty kill. So I think we need to see that, give Pricey some help, because he's been giving the team lots of help lately the way he's been playing. So I think I want to see that, and just another tight checking, good effort to end this road trip on a good note.
100%. I cannot go against that at all. So everybody, this is Habs Night. I'm Brandon. I'm with Dekes. We hope you have a good night, and we are hoping for a big Habs win to end this road trip. Cheers, guys.